Shalom YASHARAHLA. This is the brother Banah Meth, back with another lesson here. Lord willing, to be edifying and straight to the point. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, YAHAWAH being the true name of the Heavenly Father, and YAHAWASHI being the true name of the only begotten Son in the ancient Hebrew tongue. And I'd like to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and shalom to the hopeful elect laboring in this truth, the 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, West Indians, Haitians, and all the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad whose lineage goes back to the seed of Jacob. Shalom, peace and blessings unto your household. May you keep repenting in these latter days. And I'm going to name this lesson here, so kind of be part 2 of As Foretold by the prophet Jeremiah, who's prophesied these end days here that we're seeing, and more of the prophecies are unveiling before our eyes. We're seeing, martial law kicking in Canada, and as well as, they're bringing in certain troops and medical trained soldiers to help with the staffing shortages that are going on from workers being fired in the medical field out in New York. And I've also read that a lot got fired in North Carolina as well. So we're gonna be getting more used to seeing these troops out here in America, spiritually known as Babylon, Egypt, Sodom, Gomorrah, etc. And we're going to be seeing more and more military presence as these days go on, and these are going to happen very fast. These days are being quickened for the elect's sake. And I know a lot of the brothers and sisters out there are facing these mandates, and they're at risk of losing our jobs and our things like that. And the pressure is really on right now. A lot of the brothers and sisters have filed for religious exemptions and so forth, medical exemptions, but we know that this devil, ultimately his plan is to put the gun to our heads and make us take the juice, or he's gonna let loose on us, and cut us off completely. So we just have to be willing to lose everything, so to speak, to gain the kingdom and to gain that protection from the Lord. Because we know if we're following and obeying and coming back and repenting to the Lord, doing our best to keep the keep the commandments and obey the Lord with fear and trembling, that we are putting protection over ourselves, Lord willing, and our families may be covered as well through our works. So keep laboring in the truth, brothers. And I'm gonna begin here with a little lesson, just kind of to display a little bit of the tension that's going on with the other countries being angry at America. That America just signed that deal a couple weeks back with Australia, overthrowing the French deal, with the submarines with the missiles on them. And you've got a lot of countries that are upset with America right now and their doings and their works. We know that they're all gearing up, and we've got kingdoms coming up against kingdoms, and great sedition and the spirits of vengeance are running loose. We're seeing murders at an all-time high here in America right now. So Lord willing, he'll put a cover over you and your families. Keep repenting to the Lord and believing on the Lord and calling on the Lord, praying for your protection through the Lord. So let's get straight to the video here. And I've seen this was mentioned with the White House presser a couple days ago. Not many people are paying attention to what's going on in Yemen.
Yemenis in the capital of Sana'a are demonstrating against international forces.
الله أكبر الموت لأمريكا الموت لإسرائيل اللعنة على اليهود النصر.
So yeah, they want to see America destroyed. Thereafter, those so-called Jews, and we know the fake Jews, and the nation of Israel over there, which aren't the true children of the Lord, YASHARAHLA, the seed of Jacob, prince of the power. We know that those 1948ers are the synagogue of Satan. They say they're Jews, but they're not. And we've seen that America has been funding them and donating hundreds of millions of dollars. Even, it could be more than that. But, yeah, to help supply the fund for the Iron Dome defense that they have over there in Israel to defend them against, missiles and their military protection. And America has always been hand in hand with them. They're always trying to protect those 1948ers over there. They're sending Americans over there. They're sending Edomites over there and groves to take over and to force people of the Palestine out of there. And we know that ultimately Esau wants to take back that birthright, and he's going to do whatever he can to try to fool the Lord. But we know that all his efforts are going to be in vain, because great destruction and sedition is already here, and it's on the way. Esau is going to be destroyed, Babylon here. So we have to seek that protection and covering through the Lord and through our works.
إلى باب مكتب الأمم اللا-إنسانية مكتب الأمم المتحدة لنعريها.
These guys are just walking from Friday prayers towards the UN building, where they are protesting the blockade that's been in place here in Yemen for the last few years. They're asking for the UN's help in terms of lifting that blockade, because they're saying that this is preventing the fuel and the aid that is necessary for Yemeni people to survive from coming into the country. For 6 years, Yemen has been stuck in a bloody civil war between the Saudi-supported government forces and the Iran-backed Houthis. 200,000 people have been killed, but millions more have been pushed to the brink of starvation. Both sides have escalated the hunger crisis. While the Houthis have limited civilians' access to food aid, Saudi-led coalition forces have bombed farms, water supplies, and fishing boats. The Saudis also imposed a strict blockade on the country's air and seaports, which is having deadly impacts. Although some of these restrictions have been loosened, fuel is still tightly controlled. What is it you've come here for today?
People is dying in Yemen. People is starving. Hospital is closed. What they are doing in Yemen? They should help us. Otherwise, what are they doing in Yemen?
Who do you ultimately blame for the blockade?
We blamed America, because if it's America tell Saudi Arabia, let the oil ship come to Yemen, they will go directly. Because, America controls the whole world. We blamed Biden said.
So the whole world knows that Babylon, the great year, all the nations have drunk in that cup of fornication with Babylon. And Babylon is the so-called, leader, controls the world, the head of the world here. Esau's kingdom built here, and everybody's had it with Babylon. They're through. They know that Babylon's sins have reached into the heavens, and they're all ready to rise up against Babylon and take her out, so to speak. And we're seeing that they have control over the gas, the oil over there, the ships, everything coming in. And we're seeing that spread widely across the whole world right now. We're seeing the UK being controlled with their petroleum, their gas, their oil. We're seeing hyperinflation here in America. We see all the boats that are docked here out on the West Coast that are preventing supplies from being here. So they're controlling the economy and the hyperinflation, and they want to crash this dollar, giving out all this funding to raising up the the debt ceiling here, and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. There's going to be a cap there, and ultimately they're trying to crash this economy because they're moving on to the digital currency and ultimately the charagma. But the elect are going to keep seeking this truth and keep warning our people until we can't no more. And we're seeing that all these lies that Biden has sold to gain his election, so to speak. He's sold everybody on these lies, and now he's not following through with them. And we ultimately knew that was going to happen. We have no faith in Esau, no trust in this system. We know it was built to crash. We know these politicians all lie, and ultimately they work for the devil, the elite banking families, the wicked.
If I become the president, I will not oil ship. I will stop the war.
Do you have children?
Yes, 5 children. He want to go to fight. Where is he? This is my son. He want.
You want to fight? How old?
See, these kids are being raised with that hatred towards Babylon. They're tired of it, and they see their people being oppressed by the powers and the leaders of this world. Esau. They're ready to rise up against Esau. And we're tired of Esau. We know this place is through. We're ready to get up out of here. We're detaching ourselves from this world here because we're not with that NWO. We see the devil's moving with a great wrath very quickly because his time is up. That's why they're pressuring, a lot of people, have, within this next month, they're going to see whether or not they're going to be able to keep their jobs for the time being. And ultimately, the jump shot is continuing, the Boost Mobile, and we're seeing the truth get out about, a lot of these, these tests, these weekly, bi-weekly tests, especially the swabby swab. We know that contains certain things on there that can potentially infect you with something that's going to be the same sort of thing as the jump shot. So definitely, if you're doing tests, you better make sure you're doing the saliva tests and not putting anything into your body that can, enter as a pathogen. And like I said, we're seeing all these nations rising up against Babylon, and we're going to continue to see uproars of the people here because everybody's seeing it. This truth is being exposed. This devil's tongue is slipping upon himself, and people have had it. They're tired of it. This has been going on for a year and a half, almost 2 years, coming up, in 2022. So, they're running out of time. People are starting to see this truth, and the others that have taken that thingy thing are just gone, man. They're gone. They have no spirit in them. We know destroys the spirit, the pineal gland, that God gene. So those are going to be through. They're not even going to take a listen to this truth. So we got to continue just surrounding ourselves and warning people that still have a chance. Those that haven't taken the jump shot, and those that, because we know if they've taken the jump shot, they're going to take that thingy thing, that charagma, that Frito-Lay chip. So, if they're of the seed of Jacob, they're going to have to suffer and learn with great shame and through death and pain. And, we'll see them in the kingdom, Lord willing. Lord willing, we're part of that number and part of that protection of the elect. But we're seeing, the U.S. pays for all these programs for Israel, or they're, they bring in all these Afghan refugees, and they're paying to fly them over here, house them, protect them. And I just seen an article today talking about how thousands of I think it was more than 6,000 Afghan refugees left one center that was in Texas, I believe. And they just took off to go fend for themselves. And the guards, those troops over there, just let them walk out, let them leave, just to, they're going to find their own way here in the States. But America lets them, and for some reason, right? And they don't have that same respect when it comes to Jake. They don't let Jake do that freely. They don't let all the Latino Hispanic tribes down at the border. They make sure they shut them down. They turn them back. They send them back in droves for years and years and years. And we see what they have done to the tribe of Levi, our Haitian brothers out there. The same thing, sending them back to a place that America destroyed through the Clinton Foundation. When Haiti, has been destroyed through the earthquakes, and years ago when the Clinton Foundation, stole all that money and didn't rebuild Haiti, and they control the government leaders all over. We know Esau has a perpetual hatred for Jake, and that's why we're seeing them always seek to keep Jake at the lowest and to to deprive them. But we're seeing Esau fail to come through with his promises, so to speak. They're just talking about helping out Yemen, or that was brought up with the White House meeting earlier this week, and that redhead up there, spokesperson for Sleepy Joe, she was quick to kind of turn away the questions when it came to one person asking about Yemen and helping Yemen, and she's kind of caught off guard because nobody else asked that question, and that Esau just thinks that they can sweep these things under the rug, man. But ultimately, this truth is getting out everywhere, and people are tired of Babylon, and they're tired of Esau.
How old are you?
13 years old.
You're 13 years old and you want to fight?
ليش يتحارب؟
And that's why you want to fight?
If they stay like this 2 weeks or 3 weeks, more than that, what are we do? We will go to fight.
The lack of fuel entering Yemen impacts everything. Clean water and electricity are harder to come by. Health facilities run on limited power, and food prices are driven up. All at a time when 16 million Yemenis face acute food insecurity, and there's a shortfall in international aid donations. This year, around 400,000 children risk death from starvation.
So Esau controls this all over the world, controls the supply chain. And we're seeing them mess with the supply chain here. And we're going to see more food shortages, stores being empty, prices going up super high. It's already begun, but slowly. It's a gradual process. And, Americans are so naive. They don't think that this can happen here. They don't notice it happening in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, in the UK, all over the world. And they're too caught up in the lust of the flesh and thinking that this wicked world will go on forever. So, for those repenting, coming back to this truth, those of the tribes of Israel, YASHARAHLA, Prince of the Power, the seed of Jacob, keep repenting to the Lord and staying faithful and praying to endure to the end. I'm going to get to the scriptures here, Jeremiah 5:3. And it reads, O Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. So all these stumbling blocks all these stumbling blocks, and Jake still don't want to wake up. People still don't want to wake up. You know, they have faced great grief, and they've had the Lord jack them up, but they still want to continue their wicked ways and to turn away from correction. They're freaking allergic to this truth, man. And it's gonna be too late when they finally want to do it. It says, therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of Yahawah, nor the judgment of the power. I will get me unto the great men. Salakia. It says, I will get me unto the great men, and will speak unto them, for they have known the way of the Lord, and the judgment of their power. But these have all together broken the yoke and burst the bonds. So it's talking about, you know, the hopeful elect. You know, the truth has, you know, we've been given the spirit of truth, waking up to this, and it has broken the yoke, burst the bonds. It has, you know, set us free from these chains of this carnal world and this flesh. We seek the eternal. We seek the kingdom, and this truth has set us free from our wicked ways, from our sottish ways. And this has been a gift from the Lord. So we have to continue doing the work, because we have to pray that spirit of truth stays in us until the end. You know, like I always say, you know, many are, what does it say? Many are Salakia. It's you know, many are called, but few are chosen. And that's because, you know, many don't have the discipline, the endurance to keep going in this truth, to see it all the way to the end. You know, people want to see things, they want instant results, and this thing is, you know, we have to endure in long suffering to get our reward. You know, because we've spent so long going off. How do you think that you can just change and then instantly get the results from just changing, you know, overnight? And it doesn't work that way. You know, you have to endure. You have to prove yourself. You have to show that you've truly changed and that you truly are in this faith for the long haul. I'm going to continue here at Jeremiah 5:11, and it reads, for the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt treacherously against me, saith the Lord. So, you know, the northern and the southern kingdom have, all 12 tribes have, you know, they have not hearkened to the Lord. They have forsaken the Lord for so long and went off and following the ways of the heathens, all these pagan holidays and customs, and they have turned their back to the Lord. And it says they have belied the Lord and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. So they think that they can continue following the ways of Esau and Babylon, continuing doing their wicked deeds and following their wicked ways, fulfilling their lusts and going off, breaking all the ways of the Lord, and mocking and scoffing at those that are trying to teach them, correct them the right way. You know, they don't see their own destruction coming. They don't see the famine that is happening, that is coming to Babylon here very soon. And they think that their wickedness can keep them going forever. They trust in Esau. They go take that juicy juice, man, that dragon juice, and they'll go take that Frito-Lay chip, the Karagma, They think that they can save their life, but surely they're going to lose it, man. I'm going to jump down to Jeremiah 5:25. And it says, your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. So yeah, your sins, you're just full of your own corruption that you don't want to hear, you don't want to see anything good. You just want to continue to surround yourself with that wickedness and stuff that makes you think that you're acceptable, because Esau will pump that out and putting out that witchcraft on every vibration, all over TV, music, everywhere you go. They want to make wickedness the standard and acceptable, but we know that the Lord's lifting up a standard in these times, man. He's lifting up his elect to preach this gospel. So you're a fool to not take warning. It says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Yeah, and we got tons of jakes that are setting snares, man, and traps. All these Masons, people that are working for Esau that are going and telling you to follow suit and do whatever master says. Man, they don't realize that Esau has been trying to kill us off ever since he discovered us over here, the northern tribes, and brought the southern kingdom over here to round us all up into captivity together again. So you gotta be a fool, man, ignorant to love your oppressor like that, to love the enemy. It says, as a cage full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. So yeah, they're happy with the so-called delicacies and these little things that Esau gives you. You think that you have riches, you think that you are great because Esau gives you a little bit of fame to push his wicked vibrations, his evil witchcraft vibration, and he puts you, he creates that image, puts you in that image of paganism and worshiping the devil, Esau, Satan. It says a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. So yeah, they're caged birds, man. They don't have wings to fly, man. They're just stuck in a box, stuck in the coop, and they're just bathing and sitting in their own shit. And that's why all these people out there that want to preach all this false doctrines, they're full of shit, man. They ain't warning you. They're not telling you that what's to come. They're not warning our people that destruction is coming and that Esau is seeking to devour them like a lion, man. Setting up all these snares, and you got these wicked jakes that are out there working for him, man. They just want to save themselves. They want to consume riches, and it's all for naught. We know this whole thing's crashing and burning. So why would you try to keep up, keep yourself in a house and build something up in a house that's already on fire and burning? I jump over to Jeremiah, the 6th chapter. And it reads, Jeremiah 6:7, as a fountain casteth out her waters, so she casteth out her wickedness. Violence and spoil is heard in her. Before me continually is grief and wounds. So yeah, Babylon here. She casteth out her false doctrines, man. Her waters of lies, spewing out that bull crud, you know what I mean? And she, she's teaching people wickedness, man. That's why they prey on the young. They conquer and divide our people, destroy our households, make us vulnerable, man. They control the mind through witchcraft. and violence and spoil is heard in her. Before me continually is grief and wounds. So yeah, Babylon is wounded, man. It's in a state of grief. Days of sorrow are here. Violence, death, and spoil is heard in her. People robbing, rape, robbing, pillaging here. Trying to be just like Esau. We're seeing it at an all-time high, and that's going to continue once this famine continues, man. Once people don't have jobs or places to live, we're seeing it happen now. And it's going to continue as these mandates are being pushed at an all-time high. We're just seeing it start. Them to really enforce these mandates. Because we know Creepy Joe he's taking orders to make this thing happen faster. It says, "Be thou instructed, O Jerusalem, lest my soul depart from me, lest I make thee desolate, a land not inhabited." So yeah, we gotta take instruction from the Lord and stay in this truth. Otherwise, there would be nothing here, man. Nothing to save. And ultimately, we know Babylon's going to be destroyed. But we've got to be the hopeful elect that inherit the kingdom, man, with, Lord willing, with YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI. Take back the real Holy Land. Fill it with YASHARAHLA, man. The rightful heirs. It says, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall thoroughly glean the remnant of Israel as a vine, turn back thine hand as a grape gatherer into the baskets." So yeah, the elect are trying to, and the Lord ultimately, he's trying to gather the repenters, man. He's trying to gather repenters as an extension of the Most High, as the elect are, fishing for the elect, like the elders say. And glean means to gather what is left in small numbers. So we know that there's a very small number of us, man, the hopeful elect, the elect being 144,000. Got billions of people on this earth, man, and just think about it, 12,000 from each tribe, 144,000. That is a very, very small number, man, and that's why those that have this spirit, they feel so different, man, and they know they don't feel right in this world, man, and they feel, those that don't have the numbers around them and as many people that are woken up to this truth or that hearken unto it, and their families and such, they feel very, very alone in this truth or in this spirit. So they gotta continue to keep pushing and to pray, to endure, and to very much so try to separate themselves from the wicked, man, from those that don't want to turn back and repent to the Lord. As tough as it is. It says, "To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it." So yeah, those that despise, those that see this as a reproach, man, to all their wickedness and all their ways, that they're just so set in those things that they don't want to turn back, and they have no delight in this truth and what you have to say to them. It says, "Therefore I am full of the fury of the Lord. I am weary with holding it in." Yeah, we're hot, man, for the Lord, man. We're sick of this place. We're sick of these people that don't want to take warning, man, and that continue to teach and their children false ways, going off, man, not trying to get their household in order. We're sick of it, man. And we've got that, very much so hot for the Lord, man. We're pissed at this place, Babylon. We're tired of this captivity. It's through. It says, I am weary with holding it in. I will pour it out upon the children abroad and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the aged with him that is full of days. So yeah, he's not going to hold back on any of them, man. Any of the judgment. It says, and their houses shall be turned unto others with their fields and wives together. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the Lord of the land, saith the Lord. For the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. And from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. So all these priests and false prophets that are telling you, selling you peace and safety, man, telling you to go take the jump shot, they deal with falsely, man. They're selling you lies. They're working for the devil, Esau, man. Everyone is given to covetousness. So yeah, everyone is full of pride here in Babylon. They think they know best. They don't want to listen to the word of the Lord because they think they know better. They see themselves as a higher power, man. They think they're gods, man. Ultimately, that pride and mentality is going to get you killed, man. It's going to bring you death. Continue at 14 here. For they have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. That's right. They're trying to sell you on that peace and safety. Just go take the thingy thing. Let's get back to normal. This thing ain't never going back to normal, man. That's why they're lying to you, and they're not telling you that these people that are taking that jump shot, man, they're falling by the wayside in droves, man. They're getting real jacked up by the Lord right about now. It says letting people continue, you know. They're letting people continue their false errors and their ways, not repenting to the Most High, not fearing judgment, you know. They think that they can just continue going on and never get the wrath of the Lord, and that the Lord will accept you for who you are and what all your sins, and you know, YAHAWASHI didn't you know, die and sacrifice themselves for us to have a chance to get right, man. Nah, the Lord didn't give up YAHAWASHI in vain, man. He's gonna come back and judge those who aren't repenting. You know, people are doing the same thing right now. They want to mock and scoff, and they're not listening to us, you know, and they didn't listen to YAHAWASHI neither, man. It says, were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nay, they were not at all shamed, neither could they blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I visit them, they shall be cast down, saith the Lord. Yeah, our people are prideful, man. Super prideful. And they can't even blush, man. It's not even in them to feel any type of regret or sorrow, or you know, fearing the Lord and displeasing him. You know, and the Lord's gonna cast them down. Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And they're going to see the difference, you know, in these days where things are going out of control. You know, the whole world's gone mad. Things are going wild out here. They're going to see that only the men of the Lord have that peace, man, that peace of mind, because we've got that hedge of protection and knowing what's coming and being prepared, and and ultimately sitting there waiting, keeping that door open for YAHAWASHI. Ready. You know, we're looking up. We're ready for those chariots, man. We want to see them come down, and we want to get up out of here, man. It says, and also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. Yet they aren't listening to the warning here, man. But we know ultimately it's not in their spirit. You know, the Lord chooses who has this spirit and who's going to be woken up to this truth. So, you know, we continue doing what we can, preaching this good gospel, this good news unto those that are meant to hear, man, and meant to wake up to this truth. And Lord willing, you know, he's doing his work, sealing that elect right now, writing them into the book of life. But we got to be fully invested right now. You can't be straddling the fence. You can't be lukewarm. The Lord wants you either hot or cold. So you got to pick a side right now. You know, especially if you have some inclination in your spirit to know that this thing's off and to be seeking the truth. We're telling you the truth right here. GMS, the head apostles on down. We're all singing the same song, man. We're all preaching the same doctrine. And this isn't out of our own bellies. This isn't to, you know, approve anything of our own ways. No, we know we were going off before this, man. And that's why we've made all the sacrifices and all the things we need to do to separate ourselves from this wicked world and our sottish ways, man. You know, it's taken, you know, some of the brothers a lot of work. And we've gotten this thing correct, man. Lord willing, he approves of our works. And I'm going to continue here at 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. Yep, they don't want to hear it, man. And that's why the Lord ain't gonna want to hear you. You know, when his judgment is coming down, he ain't gonna hear you. He's gonna laugh at you because you had a chance. You know, these gates of mercy are open right now, but they're closing very quickly. And the Lord's going to have no mercy on destroying you because you have rejected him and his words and his law. Because these words that we speak do not come from us. They come directly from Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahushua. Jeremiah 6:21. Therefore, thus said the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. That's right. Stumbling blocks upon our people. You know, fathers leading their sons to follow their wicked ways, and they're going to fall together. The neighbor, his son, the neighbor and his friend that partake in it, you know, those that love to surround themselves with folly, surround themselves with evildoers to make themselves feel more comfortable. You know, birds of a feather flock together, so to speak. They're going to perish together when that day of judgment comes. The enemy from the north. Thus said the Lord, behold, a people cometh from the north country, and a great nation shall be raised from the sides of the earth. And they shall lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy. Their voice roareth like the sea. And they ride upon horses, set in array as men for war against thee, O daughter of Zion. We have heard the fame thereof. Our hands wax feeble. Anguish hath taken hold of us, and pain as a woman in travail. Yep, we know these nations are rising up against Babylon. You know, you got Russia, North Korea, China, you know, Iran, etc., man. They're all going to come up to make war against Babylon, man. Nuclear war. Missiles. This place is going to be a lake of fire. It's going to burn. We, Lord willing, we'll be out of here, man. and pulled and covered, part of that elect. They're going to have no mercy upon this place, man. You hear them. You heard in the video, man. They want to see this place go down. Because Babylon's iniquities against the whole world, man. Their sin has reached upon to the heavens. It says, we have heard the fame thereof. Yeah, we've heard the grumblings. We've heard about the militaries that are gearing up their nuclear arms, man, and practicing their war games, man, and gearing up to go to war against Babylon. It says, go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way, for the sword of the enemy and fear is on every side. O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son. Most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. Yep. So we have to, not try to save ourselves. We're not going to walk in the way of Esau by obeying this NWO. It's leading you to death, man. So you're not going to try to go forth into the field nor walk by the way. You're not going to try to save your job by taking that thingy thing. You're not going to go sign up for Esau's military, man. You're not going to go do his bidding, go into war for him. That whole pride, that whole, American patriot pride, man, is going to get you killed. Especially when the enemy comes rushing in. Fear is on every side. And we have to be, put this garment of truth on, the sackcloth. And we're wallowing thyself in the ashes because we are dead to this world, man. And this world is through, man. We want to, we're bitter, man. This bitter lamentation, because we see that the wicked are coming down, man, with great judgment, great wrath. And we want to get out of here as quick as we can, man. And we see, people are mourning. People are mourning because this place ain't never going back. This place is done. It's through. And the spoiler has come upon us, man. Esau. And ultimately, those other nations that are going to rise up against Babylon. It says right here, Jeremiah 6:27, I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. So yeah, the Lord has given us a tower, man, and a fortress amongst the nations, man, amongst Jake, to be a safe place, a tower, against the evil days, and we're trying to give our people this truth, man, to give them protection, man. Lord willing, they'll heed to it, man, and they'll be part of that elect. Lord willing, we'll probably be elect, and we're trying, we're giving them this truth, giving them this warning that they may know, and we're trying their way. We're seeing if they got the spirit in them to hearken unto it and to continue to pull them in the right direction, man. Repent to the Lord. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. And it says right here, they are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters. And yeah, those that are revolting against the Lord, man. Walking with slanders, liars, man. People that go against the Lord. People that lie and sell you on false doctrines, man. They are brass and iron. They got you in chains, man. They've got you in this captivity still, man. And he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. They're going to be destroyed, man, those corrupters. It says the bellows are burned, the lead is consumed of the fire, the founder melteth in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. So yeah, they're gonna have to burn, man, when the missiles hit. That nuclear destruction, they're gonna be destroyed. And the founder, Esau, who's created this prison, man, this captivity, he's gonna be saved a special reservation of death by punishment, man. It says the wicked are not plucked away. So yeah, that day of judgment comes. Those who have not hearkened unto this truth and not repented to Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and that have followed this NWO, they aren't gonna stand no chance, man. Those chariots they ain't gonna have no salvation. Those chariots don't got their, they ain't got a ticket for that chariot, man. They ain't getting beamed up. It says, reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. Yeah, because the Lord doesn't see his image in them. Just like when silver is refined and perfected, they say that the silversmith sees his image, sees the image, can see the reflection of himself in that, to know it's refined and perfect and it's done. That's how the Lord sees his elect, man. And he sees his own image in them. And he knows that they're perfected in his ways. And these people, these slanderers, the heathen, and the 2/3 that are following the wicked ways of the heathen, and Esau, the wicked, the Lord's going to reject them, man, because he doesn't see himself in them at all. And they're gonna have to suffer that same judgment, man. So we see that North Korea says that they have had their hypersonic missile, September 29th. AP News here. There's that there's that ICBM missile there. Hypersonic. And they're pissed off because the U.S. has been holding military exercises with South Korea. And they're messing with North Korea's control of the region. So North Korea ain't playing. They ain't having that, man. So yeah, they just had a demonstration of their capability, these hypersonic missiles. We don't know how many they have, but we know that it's a flux of power and a warning. And they're not happy with this Biden administration, man. Also, we got, breaking defense here, September 29th, and we got a military, talking about pretty much that these hypersonic weapons, these nuclear missiles, weapons are, they're pretty much got the ability to strike just about anywhere on the planet in hours or even minutes. It's obvious to military leaders, but with the Air Force Secretary recently throwing cold water on his own service's hypersonic plans, now is also the time to take a cold eye view of where the technology sits, according to the Arms Control Association's Shannon Bugos. So they're saying that, America's lacking. Because we know Russia and China are on the forefront of these weapons. Yeah, it says here, Pentagon officials rarely miss an opportunity to tout the importance of accelerating their development amid the department's prioritization of enhancing conventional deterrence against Russia and China. Plus, there is a bipartisan support in Congress for the aggressive pursuit of the weapons. But a closer look suggests all may not be well in hypersonic paradise. It says, I am not satisfied with the pace, said Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall at the Air Force Association Air, Space, and Cyber Conference about the service's hypersonic weapon development plans. So yeah, they're falling behind, man. They ain't ready. It says the target that set that we would want to address and why hypersonics are the most cost-effective weapon for the U.S., I think it's still, to me, somewhat of a question mark. I haven't seen all the analysis that's been done to justify the current program. Yeah, Biden's too busy over there. I'm worrying about giving money to the Golden Dome defense system, man. Too busy on that NWO, man, and focusing on how they can get everybody stamped. It says here that the U.S. needs to develop hypersonic weapons in order to allow us to match what our adversaries are doing. Michael Griffin, a former Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, argued last year. So they know that those that are, against the U.S. and that have flexed that power and that ability to go to war against the U.S., that they're falling behind on their ability to defend against those things. It says here that the missile flies with an advanced fuel that the Russians say give it a range of up to 1,000 kilometers. And it's so fast that the air pressure in front of the weapons form a plasma cloud as it moves, absorbing radio waves and making it practically invisible to active radar systems. A U.S. Aegis missile interceptor systems require 8 to 10 seconds of reaction time to intercept incoming attacks. In those 8 to 10 seconds, the Russian Zircon missiles will have already traveled 20 kilometers, and the interceptor missiles do not fly fast enough to catch up. So yeah, those things are, they're able to go into the to space, sort of, I think space or low enough to avoid any type of radar systems, because they can change their projectiles. They can change their course of flight. These hypersonic missiles here. There's DARPA trying to talk about how they're faster than the speed of sound. These missiles, 5 times faster than the speed of sound, and that they can strike targets more quickly than subsonic missiles and have significant kinetic energy even without high explosives. So that's why these things are so fast. They're way less. So the Biden administration definitely, they're trying to, it says here that Joe Biden's desire to reduce the role of nuclear weapons in U.S. strategy and put the emphasis on more holistic and integrated view of deterrence concerns about increasingly aggressive Russian and Chinese nuclear behavior, the growing cost of the U.S. nuclear modernization program, and divisions in Congress about the future of the U.S. nuclear policy. So yeah, Congress, he's creating division, man. Even with these military mandates, we got a lot of people that are quitting, that are that aren't with that jump shot, man. Joe Biden's trying to give them dishonorable discharge if they ain't gonna take the thingy thing. That's gonna create a weakened military, man. A lot of these pilots that have been specially trained, we spent millions and millions of dollars on training these pilots for these special positions, man, to fly these jets and things like that. And if you ain't got nobody to fill that role, nobody that has had that experience, that training, well, what are you gonna do? Those weapons are useless, man. I'm not going to read too much into this. I'm going to jump over. This is the most significant early decision made by the Biden administration on missile defense was to continue with plans to build a new interceptor to counter long-range ballistic missile attacks. So yeah, and just like the Iron Dome is in Israel that he's so fascinated with and investing all this money into, man. But we know that it's not going to be able to intercept these missiles fast enough to block them or to counter them. Independent Defense Department cost estimate published in April put the estimated cost of the interceptor at $18 billion over its lifetime. The department plans to supplement the existing 44 ground-based interceptors with 20 NGIs beginning not later than 2028. Yeah, this thing ain't gonna last that long, man. So you got 44. That's it for now. But again, can't block something if you don't see it on your radars, and if it's too late once you do see it. You're gonna get caught with that haymaker with your arms down, man. So I'm gonna jump to the scriptures here, close out with this. A couple precepts here. We got Revelations 9 and 17. It's talking about the missiles. It says, "And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and of brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone." Yeah, those missiles have fire. They're coming with smoke and brimstone with that destruction, man. It says, "By these three was the third part of men killed by fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths." Talking about those missiles, man. And saying by these a third part of men killed, because we know that the famine and the sedition is also gonna be killing a lot of our people, man. Before the missiles hit. It says, "For their power is in their mouth and in their tails." Yeah, that fire, man. It says, "For their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt." And that's right. It's coming with destruction. These missiles coming to destroy Babylon. Revelation 16:15. "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keep his garments." It's truth. "Lest he walk naked and they see his shame." Yeah, and those that aren't in the spirit of truth, they have no covering, man. They have no protection. Everyone's gonna see that shame. Everyone's gonna have that shame that isn't in this truth, man. That isn't part of that elect. They're all gonna know who was who. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Coming to Babylon soon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. That's right. That whole earth is going to shake when Babylon gets hit, man. That fallout. That great power, man. The whole earth's going to feel it, man. All the nations are going to see as Babylon has fallen. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before the Lord, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Yep, the Lord is making it happen. The Lord's controlling it. The Lord is making that happen to Babylon, man. Because of the fierceness of his wrath, man. Because Babylon's sins, man, have reached unto the heavens. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found, because they're destroyed. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed YAHAWAH because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. And that's talking about that great brimstone and fire and rocks coming out of the heavens, man. It's all gonna be coming down in Babylon and the surrounding areas, man, and men are gonna be cursing the Lord because the Lord has let these things happen to them, they say, but they did this to themselves, man, by forsaking the Lord our power, Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. And this plague, this destruction is going to be exceedingly great. It's greater than anything the world has ever seen. And they're going to know the Lord's wrath and his power. That's why we got to have great fear. We've got to pray that we're part of that number, that elect, that get saved, man. We don't want to be missile food like these 2/3 and the heathens, man. We'll close out here with Revelations 14 and 8. Read on down a little bit. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Yep. They're all adulterers, man. Following these false philosophies, drinking the wine of Babylon, the wine of sin and wickedness, teaching all these nations to go off. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahawah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That's right. While the Lamb were up there, 144,000 elect pulled up the chariots, the angels, Yahweh, BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, when he comes back for his elect with those chariots of destruction, man, the Lamb's gonna see this place, Babylon, being destroyed, man. And those that have followed the beast in his image, taken the juice, man, and have taken that chippy chip, that Frito-Lay chip, that have worshipped the beast in his number, man, the Lamb are gonna see it, man. You know, it's not gonna be pretty for those that aren't part of that number, but you know, those that have chosen that destruction, man, they've been given warnings and been given the signs from the Lord, and they didn't want to listen, man. So they brought this upon themselves, and they continue to worship Esau and to worship wickedness, man. So therefore they're gonna have to know death by pain, man. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Yep, because they're saying that they don't belong to Yahawah, you know, especially the Israelites, man. You know, you are children of the Lord, man. You are the special seed, you know, his holy people who he has separated from among all the heathen, all the other nations, man. Those 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called Latinos, Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, you know, Hispanics on down, and those scattered abroad that go back to the lineage of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, Prince of the Power. You know, we are the true children of the Lord. So that's why you have to separate yourself from these heathen and these pagan worshipers, man, these worshipers of the devil. And you have to repent in the name of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, while you have time, and every day, and pray that you are pleasing the Lord and doing his works, man. And pray that you endure to the end, and that you are saved through his grace, man, and through his mercy. So, Lord willing, this has been edifying. And once again, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. And shalom to the hopeful elect.